That's okay. We'll just get the
Yeah.
starting position as the first thing. So
Shall we play rated and juice it up?
Whatever you fancy. Right. Okay. So I think we're ready to go.
Cool. And we are just about to go live on YouTube. I'm just waiting for the spinny thing to stop.
Oh, I'm just getting inundated with messages. People offering odds on you outplaying me.
Well, I was very lucky last week because Tim wasn't talking, I had to do all the talking. So I kind of had an in-depth view of the position after sort of spending an hour just talking about one game or something like that.
Well, I see you played very well, so I've not done this before, so I'm not sure how distracted I'll be talking and playing. But
no, well, I think the thing is when you take a long time that you play better.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway,
I normally play as fast as I can, so we'll see how it goes.
Yes, well, the good news here is your opponent won't walk away if you play slowly. Right. Okay.
Right. Okay. So good evening to everyone who's listening on YouTube and listening in Zoom. I will hand you over to Jooles and Gaz, and away we go.
Okay, great.
So 6-5, we make a running play.
Just going to find the YouTube link to share it.
Did you like my first play? I think I've got my PR down low to start with.
Well, class so far. How's my audio? Does it sound okay?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Sounds fine.
Right. My neighbour's decided that Good Friday is a good time to test out his power tools. So, my audio, does it sound okay?
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Oh, I just had a bit of feedback there.
Okay, so 6-5, I get my second guy out. So now Gaz has got to cope with my threat of just coming home safely.
Just had a bit of feedback there. Okay, so I'm going to have to split into this somewhere to create some contact. So I've either got to split with a 2 and slot the ace, but because it's so far behind already, 2 rolls in, I'm going to split with the ace for.
Yeah, I think I covered this kind of position in the 3-state seminar I did for the UK BGF, which is on their site. I think that's the second half of the 2018 seminar. And what I concluded is that when your opponents escaped both of the back checkers like this, you've got to state 3. What you should do with your position is you should split with the smallest number possible.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you maximize the shots when I roll a number that leaves a shot.
I must have watched it and absorbed that. So there it goes.
Okay, so 4-1, I can hit twice, but he's got the stronger board. I've got a base lead. I'm still just trying to come home safely and hopefully make a point or 2 and then be able to double.
So I've got nothing productive to do on Julian's side of the board. So I'm looking at plays, most productive plays on my side. So I can either make the 9 or 2 down. Seems to be more productive for making points in board. And also I don't mind stripping the mid here because I don't really need the mid anymore.
Yeah, you're not going to get a shot for a long time. You rejected playing 11-5. I think I probably would have as well, but I'm just interested in your logic for not slotting the 5 point.
It doesn't. I'm gonna have to use the 8 maybe to make the 5 with that. So it's more productive to get more ammunition.
Yeah, I thought it was.
I can make the 5 naturally with all those men.
Yeah. I was reticent to slot it on the basis that you might be getting some shots next roll, so you probably don't want the blot in board. Okay, so 5 for next roll, so now I can play safely and make a point.
Right, so I'm looking now for some nice anchor making rolls. 3-2, 4-3, 6-5 would have been good. I hate making the 23 because I've never done it. I'm not comfortable playing that game, so
No, the computer likes
I'm going to avoid it.
When there's lots of builders in place and there's a blitzing threat, but I don't think there's much of a blitzing threat yet.
I could step up with a 2, probably be good if the race was a bit closer, threaten to make a better anchor, but I'm just going to slot the 5 and make the 9.
Yeah, that's
tidy up a
I feel
potential
confident
crime.
that's the right play because you need to make the 5, and now when you come in and hit, you should be able to cover. And the 9 points still part of your prime at the moment, so that's a definite asset to have.
Exactly.
Okay, so 5-1 is a bad roll. So now I have to give a shot somewhere. So anything that slotting the 5 is the best play to win, but that leaves a lot of shots. So 20 and a 2-1, 22. Or this one probably leaves less shots. So this is any 2, 11, 4-1, 5-1, and double 1. So that's 16. Or the other play would be this play. So this leaves 11, 2, 5, 4, 5, and double 5. So that's 16. So this has 2 blots. So I'm going to turn this one down and go for play with only 1 blot.
Okay. Seems okay, but it does leave a stack mid, maybe 13, 8, 6, 5, still leaves a double shot. Not
Yeah,
really sure.
I guess the 3s and 4s were duplicated.
So in with the 4. I always think you're really good at these kind of plays. You know,
Yeah, well, I am pretty confident that 4-1 is the worst play for you.
because I've got a stronger position here. I think I want to make a strong play. This is okay, but I'm 20 pips down, and it's basically turning the game into a holding game. Julian's going to unstack his mid, and it's basically just going to be a race. And he's got a few bad rolls right now, and 5 point is crying out to be made. I'm going to go for this.
Yeah, I'm confident this is right, but the problem with coming up to the 21 and making the anchor is that it leaves my blot and the 2 point safe. So at the moment, I've still got to struggle to cover the 2 point.
Yeah, you could just play behind.
So 6-1, I can cover with a 6, but then I've got to walk into a double shot. So I guess I just leave you 11 shots again.
Crap, so I'm
Yeah, it's interesting how
cubes
easy
every
the play would be if you had made 21 point.
position, race, and threat. So I've got a good position behind in the race and a little bit of threat. So it's not quite a double. I can.
No, I think you have to hit first at the moment.
Always worth having a look at.
Definitely.
So I'm discarding all the plays from the rear, such as running, because I'm behind in the race. So I'm trying to keep contact, and Julian's position is a mess. So
Yeah.
I've got to play strong. So it's 3 points is crying out to be made. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
We'll see that.
Good play. So 5-3. So this doesn't save the block. The positive bit is that now I've sorted out my distribution, so I'm confident of covering it next time if you don't hit.
Another 6-5. It's a lazy way to count the pips after the roll. So I'm 11 down after the roll. Still need to keep the contact, I think. Keeping the mid, most important point on the board. Need that to get my men home. So I don't like to play checkers in. I like to keep them outside, but I can't really see
it's nice to play the 6 if you can do so conveniently, but it doesn't seem as though there's a convenient way to do it.
For want of a better play, I'll go for this.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Carry on my game plan of just hanging back, waiting for a shot.
Not guaranteed to roll a 6 next time.
I was just going to say double
4 should put the game to bed, hopefully. So I think I just push you backwards. And the question is, do I leave any shots? And I think the answer is probably no, because I'm just on the point of doubling, so I don't want the game to turn around before I do it.
I'd have played 13-9, not many shots, and
no, I mean the
if I come in, it's better to play
if you roll 5-4, then you have a comfortable game anyway.
So in with a 5, and then it's kind of process of elimination. It's not going to be this one giving up more shots than this one. Doesn't look natural.
No, I mean, I think potentially my bad numbers are 6s here. They're the numbers that I probably won't be able to play safely. So giving me a 6 to hit lets me out of jail, I think.
If in doubt, come out. Am I going to be facing a cube after this? Am I going to take it? Trouble with this play is kind of putting 2 men into the danger zone, into the places that he wants to hit. Staying back on the aces, natural. I'll come out to the 14.
Okay, so now I've got the race lead and I've got reasonable chances of coming home safely. So I think I have to double here and give him the decision.
I'm not sure how the audio is for everyone else, but I can't quite hear you.
Okay, I'll move the thing closer to me and see if it's any better for you. How's that?
A bit better.
Any better?
Just sounds a bit muffled. I'm not sure if it's like that for everyone else. Okay, so position, race, and threat. 0-0 to a 7-point match. So generally speaking, I want to get Julian to a 3-away score. So getting him to a 5-away score, more chance for him getting there. And I want to get a cheap point in this this score, so I can get to a 4-away score. So 4-away is good, 3-away is bad. So that's always in consideration in these short matches. Is it a take for money? Pratt says position, race, and threat. Julian definitely has the race, and he's got the threat because I blotted. I haven't got any anchors. How do his rolls play? So 6-6 crush, 5-5, 4, all crushing. 6-5 plays, 5-4, 2 down, 5-3. It's just looks like an obvious pass for money. So 0-0 to 7. I'm going to let this one go.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if it was to 5, your argument on the odd even would make or have greater force. But you wouldn't want me to get to 4-away, but getting to 6-away is not such a great achievement.
Okay.
from scratch.
3-1, obviously make the 5.
Yeah, so that's a good play. I think many people attempted to hit here, and from what I know about openings, it's never better than making the 5 point. I think there's one variant where it's equal, but whether this is it or not, I don't know. So I detour around those potential pitfalls and always just make the 5 point. Okay, so this is a great roll. So I want to make my anchor, and I want to make the bar point and find the least destructive 4th one. So I can give up the midpoint that leaves me with 2 blocks, or I can slot and leave myself with 1 block. So I think I'm just going to go for 1 block play. So now I have a great position, and I'm threatening to get to a cubing position unless Gaz can come up with something here. So I've got the race and I've got my advanced anchor.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I think that it was a man down there who's just more flexible.
Yeah, it certainly is. I can see logic for both plays. It's just that I thought with the good race lead that playing with 1 block was a reasonable thing to do.
So 2 up is obvious. Otherwise, Julian's going to start making his points in front of my.
Yeah, there's one of Mitchie's.
24.
There's counter an advanced anchor with an advanced anchor. So if you get a roll like this, then you're pleased that you could do it without any risk.
And usually I'd want to make inner board points rather than outer board points, but this is too disconnected.
Yeah, you lose your.
I'm going to make the 9.
Yeah, so that's right, I'm sure. I mean, if you were ahead in the race, you could come out to the 16, but being behind in the race, you want as much contact as you can. Okay, so I've got a race lead, but I still have a problem with clearing the bar point now. So if I cleared the bar point, I might be thinking of doubling, but not there yet. So 5-2, this looks like the 2, because that's a point I want to make, and it intersects 6. And I think I'd probably rather have the 3 points, and that's 3 blocks.
So sometimes you might play something like this, like fishing for some bad hits. I'm not that desperate here. I'm not going to leave a shot. So I've got 6-5 or 5-4. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to show off and play 5-4.
Okay, so 5-4. Now this is the roll that, if it's right to run, this is the roll it's right to run with. So let's just have a look and see what I leave. So this is 11 shots and a couple of 9s, so that would be 15 shots. So it should be winning if he misses, so I'm leading by 27 is good. And if he hits, he's got to cover. There's quite a lot of covering numbers, but the 9s will never cover. Yeah. Okay, so I'm pretty confident about this, that if I get away with it, I'm in a very good position.
Okay, I think that was a good pay now position. Usually, if you're about 20 pips or more up in the race and your position is getting stretched, then it's a good time to pay. So I'm hitting with the 2 to equalize the race, and then I don't really have any other 5s other than 13-6, and now I'm regretting my show-off play of 5-4. I would have much rather have kept the 5 point. This is just too big, playing 13-8.
Yeah, the way this has gone is you've just rolled an unfortunate number, because you've got 2 6s as an extra covering number, and if you'd have gone the other way, you'd have duped your 2s to hit and 2s to cover. You just rolled an unfortunate number that's the wrong way round.
This is where the show-off play worked out. Okay, so 7 away, 6 away. So I'm looking to get a cheap point. I'm looking for Julian to looking at it for money, position, race, and threat. So my position is strong. pretty equal to Julian's. Race, I'm behind, and I'm not really threatening anything here. So I've got to make the 5 point first. It's not a double for money. It's not a double for the store.
Yeah, and I thought
I
thought I had an easy take, but I certainly wouldn't be surprised if you should double here.
I do like to double in these kind of positions. I call it hit dance double, and
Yeah.
it works very well in tournaments. You hit someone, they dance, especially on a small board like a 2 point board, and then you double instantly, and they always pass.
Yes, it's
a
good
scary
psychological play. The
psychological.
opponent kind of feels that it's not his day in this game, and that he wants.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to bluff Julian here, so I'm just going to take a roll, tidy it up a bit.
So he covers. That's the good news. But there's lots of different ways to do it.
I'd like to cover from the 9, but then the 3 just loads up the 6. If I cover from the 8, it feels like I'm dumping a little bit. Really tempted for this.
Yeah, that would tempt me. I'm not sure if I'm sold on it yet, because you're getting lots of builders for the bar.
Generally, you want to make big plays when your opponent's on the bar, and this seems to be a really
in fact, I've got the
good
block on
time.
board, so even if I come back with something in a 1, then you're going to have that guy to aim at.
What it does is it turns my position into a really threatening position, rather than this, which is a bit.
This one you didn't like because there were lots on the 6, but the other one where you clear the 8, you leave.
So I'm going to play this. I don't like dumping to the 4 here. I like to keep my men outside the zone.
Yeah,
I want to make
I think this is a good aggressive play. I didn't want to suggest it to you in case you bought it. Okay, so 3-5, I'm in, so that's a very good thing, and I don't want any more blocks knocking around.
So now my play's really paid off, because now I've got a much more threatening position. Race is still pretty even. I think my position is just going to improve way too much not to double this. It's too threatening. I'm a little bit behind in the race, but my position and threat are strong. So if you don't know the Pratt rule already, then if you've got position, race and threat, if you've got 2 of them, you can double. If you've got 1 of them, you can take.
If you've got 3 of them, you probably double in the past.
Yeah, looking at the score, I do want to pick up a cheap point here, but there are some gammons. Even if I have to hit loose, then might get some return shots. Can I talk myself out of this? No, it's too many market losers. Even if I don't point naturally, I can maybe make the 9 or the 7 or hit loose.
Yeah, no, I think
strong. I'm going to throw it over.
Balls. Yeah. So at the moment, I've got the race lead, which is a plus for me. So on your metric, I'd have a take on the 1 factor. You've got a 3 point board to my 2 point board, so the board strength isn't disastrous for me yet. So the main factor for me here, I think, is I like to think of these positions to say, if it goes completely wrong, so suppose you actually point on me and then I stay out and you fill that in, I'm thinking I probably don't lose many gammons here. So I can take on the basis if I'm only going to lose 1 extra point by taking, but losing 4 would be too much. But I think I've got enough to be able to take this. As I say, because I've got the race lead and I'm not on the bar yet. If I was on the bar, it would be a different kettle of fish. So I'm going to give this a go.
Aha!
Yeah, so you see that's the.
So I don't hit, so making a 9 is obvious. And then I have 2 options. I can either make the 2 and then I'm preparing to blitz next roll. the fact that this puts me 6 pips up is swaying me towards the running play, because if I'm ahead, I should run. If it was 4 pips, then it would be 50-50. So this is just better than 50-50 in a race, and I've still got a nice priming structure. Can I leave it back? 1. This does look tidy. Not sure. I think 6 pips is still a bit too close to make the running play, and I'm gonna hope he doesn't roll a 4 and then go for the blitz. Let's go for this one.
Yeah, I actually like the other one. I'm not convinced there's a big difference, but the thing I liked of coming out was that you're keeping an eye on the outfield with some of the 4s that I moved to escape. So the 4-3, 4-6 that you get shots on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. I did see that. Yeah.
Now this is very good.
This is better if you don't roll a 4.
Okay, so this is a great roll. So now I can cover my 4 point and make some more pips in terms of getting off the gammon. And if I block your 6s, at least I've got 4 blocking points in front of you. So even if you do close me out, you might have some problem getting out. Well, this I have to take my chances. And at least if I'm
Just like that.
I'm doing well.
Okay, so hit with a 1. If anyone's tempted to do this, then you'd be way off here. When someone's on the bar, you have to play big. Play big or go home. So I need a 4 or 5 at the back, so use them while I have.
I think the thing is, if you come
it's
in,
obvious to come out here.
Yes, it's good play. So I think, as you say, many people would go wrong. And the problem is when you play in, that your 6 is bad next time, but you're going to have to be slotting the 1 point when you want to be coming out. So
everything is bad other than 5 and 4.
Okay, so 1-4 comes in. It's good, but I can't hit, so I don't want to leave any more shots. So
I'm hoping for a 2.
Well, you average 2 with the 2 dice.
I think that's my worst roll.
It's difficult to think of much worse.
So because I can't do anything constructive here, I've just got to play something defensive. And the Batman's just stuck, so just going to reduce Julian's good rolls by just tidying up a few of the blocks. So I just can't leave it slotted. It's just 6-1 duplication. I guess that could be right with DMP. Just going to tidy up and hope you can't point naturally. Wait for a better.
Yeah, I think this is right. There was the double tiger play of hitting on the 1 point, but I don't think that was right. I think here you have a great position unless I can come up with something. So
it could have been I always miss the banana splits. It could have been the 23. Sorry, the 2-1 play there.
Okay, so 6-2. So 2 good options. I can come out and hit, or I can point on the 5 point. So I think coming out is what I want to do, because at the moment I'm stuck behind his prime. So this leaves him in 2, so that's 12 shots. 1, 3, 5, 3. So that's 16 shots.
In with a 1. I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, so of course the race is very close now, so you don't need to get in any any complexity about taking big chances. So now market loss might be if I hit and cover, but that seems to be about it. But I've got 0.6 away from your anchor, which is going to be difficult to clear, so I'm sure I have to wait for at least one roll here. So 5-4 plays safe. 5 is easy. And now I want to strip this difficult point, so I've got some numbers to clear it next time if needs be.
So I'm not desperate enough to run off the 20 yet. Usually you want to keep your back anchors. Hope for a better roll. I don't like 6-3. It's too deep a dump, and I might not get to play any sixes anyway, so I'm not too concerned about saving a 6 here. I'll probably be happy to run.
You're putting them in the right place. So as far as I'm concerned, I have a simple view about these positions that your cube action is pretty much, you treat it as though it was a race. So since I wouldn't be doubling a race when I'm 4 pips up, I'm not going to be redoubling this. So double 6 is, it's good in terms of winning the race, but it's bad in terms of leaving a shot. So 1, 2, 3 for sure. So can't see any reason not to leave minimum shots. So you do have some bad 6s here. That's about it. If I go the other way, potentially double 3 is difficult for you, but that's it. So I think, given the fact you've got a 5-point board, minimum shots is usually the way to go.
Oh, that was lucky. Right, 2. I usually would come out from the back, clear from the rear. I've just got a funny feeling it is this one. Just because he's going to want to use his 1-6 to hit, and he's probably going to have to come out, and he's going to have to use it to hit here if he rolls it.
Yeah, I think covering against
and obviously
is the right thing to do. That your position is so good now that you want to protect against something going wrong by mistake.
Yeah, just got a hunch this is right. Other play would have got a hit.
That's good. That should annoy
So
him.
am I looking to hit? I'm gonna have to leave a shot out here anyway if I don't hit. So it's just obvious to hit. Some of the ones that come in, well, most of his ones gonna leave a shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is, if you
Better
don't,
for gammons, better for the wins. Just hit,
and at least this way you force me to roll a 1 and a 6 to win the game rather than just a 6. I knew I was going to plan one time.
Okay.
So 6 is forced.
There's just no need to leave it there. Even if he doesn't roll a 1-6, rolls a 1, and then he's aiming at the 6 next roll if I don't come in. So just lift it, tidy up.
Yeah, the problem with this is you don't have a 6 anymore. So the 4-6 and the 5-6 you can't cover. So
happy to play them out.
And I still think your play is right, but
okay, so usually just clear from the rear in these positions.
yeah, you
plays.
Just get home as soon as you can.
Double 6 still plays. This play is probably better for gammons. I'm not going to have many gammons here. I don't know how many I've got, but I just know this play wins more games. So I'm going to play
that's certainly the safest play because you strip the 6 point. There's nothing bad at the moment. There's nothing leaves you with 3 checkers at the back.
So keep it even at the back.
Yeah, I think if you played conservatively last time, you've got to play safely this time. Oh, there's a shot. Awesome. Okay. So, good news is I've hit. Bad news is I've got this difficult slotting decision. So, how many have you got off? I guess if you've got 8 left, you must have 7 off. So if I can close you out, it's an even game. But if I let you play, then you'll just come in sometime. So the question is, do I slot it now or do I slot it next time? I think I want to slot it now because I think if you roll a 5, you're in good shape no matter what comes with it. So the key here is that you're down to a 3-point board, so I can hopefully survive when you roll a 5 and hit me. So I
didn't like that myself. I thought, you know, you lose more gammons that way.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to win more. So now I've actually covered it by some fluke roll. So now I would be favourite if I had good distribution, but 2 on the 2-point means it's probably about 50-50 here. So I definitely want to improve a bit before I think of redoubling. So Mochi had a rule about this. He said you should think of doubling when your opponent's got 4 off more than you. So here you've got 6 off, so I should definitely be waiting. So 6 is easy. And 4 question is, if you come in, do I lose all the time? I lose a lot of the time, but not all the time. And going to the 1 point is ugly, but then again, this position doesn't look to be the most beautiful.
Can you repeat the Mochi rule there? I didn't quite hear it.
Yeah, what he said is that my side, the side that's got you on the bar, should be thinking of doubling when you've got 4 checkers off less than your opponent.
Okay.
There's a thing online, if you search for Mochi late hit, then there's a seminar with slideshows where he talks about his thoughts on it. So, if you roll 6, are you winning all the time? Winning an awful lot of the time. I mean, it doesn't look good either way. So, let's play safe. Wrong. So 4-1 is a great shot, so now I can take a checker off. And Travi had some rules about this. He said that one of the important things in these positions is that you want to keep as many points closed as possible. So that takes priority over anything else. Okay, so now we're up at where Mochi says we should be thinking of doubling. So I've got 3 off, you've got 7 off, there's 4 more. Problem is I've got a 1-point lead and I'm recubing. So how easy is it for you to take? So next roll, let's say I roll something good like a 5-4 when I clear the 5-point. So then I've got 4 off, so you come in with 6-3, and then I take 2 off, so I have 6 off, and then you roll 8. You can come around to the 18, it's about level. So it's close. So at the top of the board, or as I see at the top of the board, your home board is pretty good, that you're not going to miss at all. There's no gaps. That might well be the tiebreaker, that when you come in, that the race is good for you, that you're not going to miss at all. And I still have 2 spares on the 2 points, which means it's far from an ideal bearer. So I'm going to wait 1 more roll. If you fan 1 more time, then I'll maybe get frisky. So 5-2. So now I've got so many off, I definitely don't want to leave a shot. I've got reasonable chances if you do enter. Now I know there's a price formula about these positions, and I don't know what it is. So I've got 6 rolls to play, so I have to think what you'll do. So I guess you'll roll an 8 and come to the 14 in your first roll, and then you'll come in and take a checker off. And that's 2 rolls, and then you'll have 7 checkers left, so that would be 6 rolls against 6. So it might be a double now, because it's it's very costly for you when you can't get into this good race. So what happens? If I redouble you, how much do you need to do to recube me to 8? So if you lose the game, you'll be losing 5-0. It's pretty bad. So I guess you probably don't need to be some kind of favourite to double. So 6 rolls against 6 rolls. I think I have to double this, just on the basis that your take looks pretty stupid if you roll something feeble on the first turn or the second turn.
Okay, this is not my forte. I'm not very good at these kind of positions. I've been asking you for years for some sort of magic formula for these straggler positions.
Yeah, so if you've got Price's backgammon boot camp, he's got a very good formula here. Which he calls
What, the 7n+1 thing?
Yeah, but he's got a special section on it called sort of rolls and versus stragglers or something.
Yeah.
So he had some magical formula for how many pips the straggler has to go. That's your guy on the 19.
Yeah, I basically just guess. So I think it might have been a double the roll before when I was on the bar, really. But 1, 2, 3. So I think mine's more of a 7 roll position, and yours is 1, 2, 3, 6.
Yeah, I mean,
I've got a
it's
few
interesting that
extra off.
most people know that the average roll in backgammon is about 8 pips, so it's 8 and 1/6. But the distribution is very skewed, so there's some very big numbers: 4, 4, 5, 6. So the median roll is about 7. So it's like if you roll the dice, you're kind of 50-50 being above 7 or below 7.
I mean, next roll you're going to have 6 off. I'm going to get into the second quadrant if I'm lucky. I don't know. 1, 2, 3. You're ahead in the match, so I'm more inclined to take a bit deep here. Don't really want to let you just get to 4 away. Is this worth a gamble? 1, 2, 3. 3 extra off. No, not sure. I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I think it's a good pass, and it's easy to think of them as being a 6-roll position, but it's kind of like on the first roll when you roll double 1 or double 2, which is meant to be your winning double, and you find that it either loses or is average.
Just going to take a short little break here. Is anyone asking any questions, Julia, or are we open to questions?
I haven't got anything in the chat yet. If anyone would like to pop a question, then please do, and I'll try and forward them on. If I can pop one question in, so when you got to that doubling decision, one thing I often remember to do is the Keith count. Now, that would tell me double pass, but how applicable is a Keith count to that sort of position where you've got one straggler against a board that's down on the very low points?
I don't know, to be frank. As I say, I know there's this analysis in Price. I just haven't remembered what it is. And as I say, I think the problem is that you immediately think it's a 6-roll position, but as I say, it's a problem for Gazzo when he gets a bad first roll. So if he can't make any crossovers on his first roll, well, I guess he'll make a crossover, but you can see if he rolls a small number on his first roll, it looks as though it's a stupid case. So he's it's fine if he gets the right rolls in the right order. So if he starts with 6-5 and then comes home and then rolls double 1 or double 2 next time, it's fine. But if he does it the other way round, so if he starts with double 1 or double 2 and then rolls with 6-5, then he hasn't really achieved anything.
Hmm.
So my knowledge of this is based on one match I played in London, the London Open, when I took one of these and turned out it was a very bad take, so I'm kind of more conservative about them now than I used to be, should we say.
Hmm.
Well, my standard 6-2 here is just, I'm sure everyone knows it, but I'm often looking at how my opponent's split here, and often with a 6-3, it's right to run if the opponent's split. With a 6-2, it's still okay to do 13-11.
Yeah, I have a suspicion it's wrong. That's ignoring the score, because the score is playing a significance now. So I'm 4 away from winning. So I'm just looking to win a double gammon in one game. So this is generally the right play on the opening move. This is clear. But the difference here is that now I've got 4 checkers on the 8 point. So in the opening position, when I hit with the 1, I strip the 8 point. But here, when I hit with the 1, I've still got a spare on the 8 point to make the bar later. And the other problem as well is that you're giving 6 shots in the outfield rather than 4 when you come down. So I'm, aside from the score, I'm pretty clear that 24-16 is the best play. But score argues very much for something more aggressive than this, as you have done. So 24-16 is very much a wimpy play, which is kind of removing gammons from the game, and you want to have lots of gammons to catch up. So 6-5, this is a good roll, and there are 2 good plays. So I can hit twice or make the 18 point. And I think, given the fact I've got a good match lead, that I want to make the play that removes gammons. So this effectively puts me in a position where I guess the race varies slightly in my favour. But your way of getting back into the game is to roll a 6, and then we have this mutual holding game, and I've removed most of the gammons from the picture, so I'm pretty confident this is right.
Yeah, good play. You want to win a gammon, but you don't want to throw away your win percentage either. So I can just make the bar here, and it's gonna turn it into quite an easy game to play, hopefully. Makes the race even, should turn it into a nice holding game, which is basically just waiting for doubles. Good for both of our PRs. Julian's slightly up. I've just got a funny feeling this is going to be better now. Hopefully some bad rolls.
The big play is to make the 4 point. I'm not sure what you think of that play.
Make the 4 point, yeah. No, I'll change my mind. I'm going to make the bar.
Yeah, I don't think there's much wrong with that. And as I say, I think if you're not making the bar, then making the 4 point is better, because you're leaving yourself exposed at the back in terms of sort of double hitting and blitzing plays. So you want to have a stronger board if you're leaving your back checker split. But
yeah, I don't mind getting hit with 4s here.
Can't be much wrong with just making it. So the good thing with your play was you left your blot in front of my anchor. So if I hit you, I have to make a big concession in giving up my anchor and leaving lots of shots. So at the moment, no one's got a board. I guess the race is still slightly in my favour. So if I give up the anchor again, I'm introducing all these gammons I don't like. So I'm just going to stick with 4-5 I'd be hitting, but 4-2 just leaves I think the right play with the 4-2 if I hit is to move both back checkers so I don't leave you with 6 from the bar. You can't use 6s to enter. But as I say, I think this is the play that keeps the gammons down for both sides.
Okay, 6-4. Just play two checkers into the points I want to make.
Yes, exactly. So that's, as you say, that's where you want to.
These are generally the easiest games to play, holding games. Just
Yes.
make an anchor.
One of the crucial decisions is whether you strip the 8 point, and you didn't have an alternative last time, and this time making the 5 point is so strong. You get some bad rolls when you do this. So
I'm definitely not going to leave a shot now that the
now I've got a strong
made
ball.
his board a bit better, so I could make the.
Yeah, so both of us want to
but
5 now to unstack the mid and get another spare. So 6-2 is forced. So I do definitely agree with you that these are very good games for keeping your PR low.
Still don't want to leave a shot. I really want to make the 5, but there's no good free, so I'll make the 5 and then make the 2.
So 4-1 is good, so now I can get my last guy from the midpoint down, and now my 6s are okay.
So this is good. So I'm 6 pips down. I've just rolled an 8. If I'd gone 4 pips up or more, then I'd be inclined to make a play from the rear. The fact that this leaves me just behind, just ahead, that means Julian should be just ahead in the match, the win percentage.
Yeah, so that
I
play,
can make
I'm
the
not saying
9.
it's wrong. It never occurred to me. I was considering this play as my sort of default play unless there was some odd reason to go against it.
I can make the 9. It does give me some good landing points.
Yeah, I mean, this position, it looks like you've got too many points. You've got 7 points, but it's very easy to clear one of these 8 or 9 points next time with almost any roll. I can talk freely about this position because I really don't know what the right play is, but I'd certainly give some thought to 13-11 twice and 18-16 twice, which is kind of half of everything.
I'm basically blocking 6s from the 13 to the 7 and the 18 to the 12. So I'm going to play 13, 11, 4. Now I'm blocking 6s from the 18. And this is basically more flexible. It just gives me more.
Yeah, it does give you a lot of spares, this play. So you can be confident that I'm probably going to be the one that leaves the shot first. So double 2, so I'm 2 down. So I'll be 6 up after the roll, and if I was 4 up, it would be a level race. So I think I need to do some kind of disengagement. So the question is, do I go all the way or past the way? So this is one option. So the good news about this is that now my anchor's further advanced than yours. So I've got 32 pips tied up in the 16 point, and you've got 36 pips tied up in the 7 point. So in theory, I should have 8 pips less tied up in the holding. Now, I think this is the play to make when I have a race lead, even if it's not very big.
I like that play.
Yeah, so that's a good play. You want the 5 point, and because you've got the 2 point, the 8 point isn't part of your prime anymore, so you shouldn't mind giving that up at all. So
if you were up in the race, you're not trying to make contact. That decreased the contact. It just made it easier for you to bring it round.
Yeah. So I definitely don't want to leave any shots here. So the question is how to do it. So this play I don't really like because it makes my sixes bad. So most sixes I have to play to the 2 points I've made already. And given that I have the race lead, I shouldn't be worried about you running off your anchor and going into a race you're losing. So how about if I leave some blots, which is usually a position that's easy to improve, and tempt you into running and see if you like it.
I would have just made the 2 there. I don't know why he did that.
Like I say, it's because the 2 is 6 away from the 8 points, so my sixes get to be bad. I'm probably overdoing the concept that.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen, do you?
So 3-1, I can cover both blots. I can play in, will leave me some bad sixes. So the race is getting closer now. So what happens if I just save both blots? So that will mean that you do at least have to play safe.
So 5-3 tidy ups, ties up the point.
Yeah, so now you are ready to hit, I imagine.
Didn't really want that. Hate breaking my board here.
Yeah, it's an interesting general principle is that the way backgammon games go is you start with a 1 point board and gradually your board gets stronger and stronger, and when you've got to the point where it's reached maximum strength, you don't want to be dismantling it.
So I can't break any anchors. I can't really leave a shot here. I'm ahead in the race. I don't really need to do that. So it's a question of how I break my board up. This looks pretty neat. Julian's not going to leave me a shot unless he rolls 6-1 maybe. So I can play a bit bigger than this. I think I'm just going to play 6-1 and then hope to make my 6 point.
Yeah, that looks better to me because you've got 2 points slotted, and as you say, I'm unlikely to leave you a shot. So 4-2. I can play safe. So the problem with this is I don't have anything to move next time. So it's all to do with what the race is like. So the race is level at the moment. But he's on roll, so effectively I'm 4 pips behind. So the other play would be switching play like this. And now I've got quite a few numbers to remake the 6 point if needs be. It'll cost me a little in the race, this play. So this looks the natural play, but can I get away with it? So this I'm really not sure about. I can't see how it can be wrong to make it a strong board. No, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to play safest play.
Yeah. I like the other one, but I rolled the 5, but then I want to make the 6. But general strategy is just don't leave any.
Yeah, it's kind of like both of us are trying to kill time until someone gets a big double. So now you've got a 5 point board without any blocks. So now I really have to play safe, irrespective of how ugly it is.
Praying for a double again. I'm still not going to leave a shot. So at least if I leave the 5 slot, I can make it with a 6 afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, so 4-1. Can't do anything good. I could consider leaving a shot, but so what's the race like? Race is still level. The problem with dumping all these checkers deep is that I'm ruining my racing chances. What about this play? This looks tempting. So now I'm definitely not going to like being hit, but I do have 3s and 6s to make the 5-point out. So what's it like if you hit? Really terrible for me. Yeah, I can't leave a shot when the race is level.
Yeah, usually these kind of games we would have rolled some nicer numbers and
Yeah, you'd think someone would have get a double by now. So 5-1 actually is a shot. So now there's no. Oh, there's an indirect shot. That looks even nicer. Right. So now it can be 9s or 8s, and I don't want to kill another checker in the board. Some of the 8s are blocked. So if I stay there, you've got 5 9s, and if I come up, 2-2, 4 is blocked. So you've only got 4 shots. So this is actually a safer play.
so position, race and fret. Definitely up in the race. My fret isn't great. I've only got 8s to hit. 2 of them miss. I've only got 4 shots, 6-3, 6-2 and 5-3. It's definitely not a double. There we go.
Right, I've just had someone saying that I'm a little too quiet. So, right, so how are we doing? You hit me. You rolled the 8. I see, right. Okay.
Yeah, I rolled the 8.
That was a good choice.
Now it's a question of, am I too good? I want to pick up a cheap point here, get to an even away score. Generally, my rule of thumb is never ever play on for too good. You want to win 2 or 4 points normally. Even if this was very thinly too good, it won't be by much. So, if you're kind of player that's looking at this thinking you're too good now just because you lost your market, just cash it.
Yeah, I think the crucial question is that you're very unlikely to make the 6-point naturally. Okay, so now the score has gone to 3-1, so I'm 4 away, 6 away.
So now I'm finally at the score I want to be.
Yes, you've got to an even number away. So 5-1. So now with this 6-4, you have more of a blitzing formation than a priming formation. So I want to counter your blitzing formation by having an anchor. So now I'm going to try and prime you because I think that will be in my favor.
Good play, I think.
Given that 5-5, then it looks like a very clever play.
Worked out all right.
Okay, so if I make the 9-point, I have an odd one to play somewhere, which is very nice. So I think I make the 4-point and then decide if I want to make the 20 or the 2. So there can't be much wrong with making the 20. And the 2 looks a bit deep. So, like I say, it can't be too wrong to make the 20-point.
Nice roll. This is the position. Yeah, generally I'm ahead here. I want to split. 2 looks like a good split, but it doesn't really give me a good 3. I don't like playing 6-3 because it dumps. I've never ever dump. I'm kind of splitting into a blitzing position here. Jooles is heavily stacked on the 6, so he's basically just going to hit everything. Can I get away with 13 8s? Looks a bit week. I want to make the most productive use of my roll. So just playing 13-8 is doing one thing with both die, and I really want to do two things here. Look at this. Yeah, trouble with splitting them down is I'm playing a bit loose on both sides of the board. Generally, if you play loose on one side, you want to play strong on the other. I've just got a hunch it's this. I don't know why. It's probably wrong. I'm behind in the race. I do want to split, but I'm not going to play 6-3.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell here whether my threat is priming or blitzing. So 6-1 is easy. I just make the bar as useful.
I'd really like to come here. Let's just play a little split with the ace. Yeah, I don't think the 20-point is a good place to be. Actually, Julian's going to want to hit. He's going to want to make the 5.
Yeah, making the 5 is number 1 on my list of goals. So 5, 3.
I'm giving him a loose hit if I do go there.
So this one I can make the 3 or I can make the 8. So let's have a look and see. So this leaves 3-4 double 4 is hardly anything, and the 3-4 is duplicated. So if I go the other way, I leave the 3-4, 3-5, 4-5, so there's some extra numbers. So it must be good to unstack the 6 and strengthen the board.
Good play. Inner board points better than outside points.
Yeah, it was unstacking the 6 was what sold me on this, because I've played lots of moves in this game and haven't moved anything off the 6 yet.
Bit of a weird one, so play all the way around to the 11. Trouble with making the 10-point is I'm starting to leave my back checkers disconnected. That's why you kind of want to hang on to your mid for the stragglers, keep the position nicely connected. I'd really like to make the 4. Doesn't really offer any duplication. It's just too loose. I'm up in the race. I'm going to run. The general tactic to do when you're up in the race. I will lose a lot of ground.
You're up in the race.
Can't see anything else.
Yes, I was very tempted to double if you stayed back. So this I wasn't expecting, but it's a good play because now if I make the 5, I've still only got 1 trap there. So is my rolling a 6 enough of a threat? I think if I'm behind in the race, I need to have a 5 prime against your back checker to double. And I think if I roll a 6, I'll be pleased, but I do have to give up the anchor to do it. So I would like to double, but I'm going to wait. So 5, 3. So I can play 2 down. That's the wimpy play. So that's leaving 1, 6, 4, 3, 4, 5, double 4, so that's 7. But quite a few returns and likely to make the 5 next time. Or I could hit. That doesn't seem any point. Yeah, Seb taught me a good rule that if you look at the position and you think that your opponent's on a point where he's well trapped, you don't want to force him off that point, because I like Gaz being there when he's trapped. So I think I just concentrate on making the 5 point.
Yeah, I like that. So this is kind of process of elimination again. I want to make the 4 again, but then I'm just leaving direct 5. Could be okay. Looks okay actually. The other alternative is to make the 11, make another blocking point, and then the ace would be stepping up. Most productive use of the ace. Then I'm threatening to escape. And if I get pointed on, then I'm using Julian's 8 and 7. I don't know. Make the 11, then I'm losing the mid. Just think you've got so many good numbers to make the 5 now that I need to make my own board.
Yeah, so I like the 11 and 23 on the basis that you do 2 things, and you're trying to get your back checker out. You're immediately threatening to escape with a 6 if I can't do anything.
Yeah, it could be
5-2 does make the 5 point, but I don't want to do that. So I think I've got to bet it all on one roll, hit, and then safely some blocks. So there's some duplication of 3s here. So at least if I get away with this, I think I've won.
Okay. Lots of shots for me. I'm going to need to hit 2s. So nothing going on at the back. It's ugly, but I think this is the play. Just try and block the back checker. Always try and look for an alternative. It's just a bit dumpy. Go for that one.
Yeah, so I think 5x is probably going to be a market loser for me. Aside from that, making the 5 point, that's only 4-1 and double 1. So I was thinking I could double here, but I still think I'm short. So I want to make the 5 and safety my block. So I've got 2 things I want to do. So 5 is great. So now I can save all my back checkers. And I think that probably takes me to a good doubling position next time. So now I have a race lead. He's not anchored, so I'm threatening, priming, and blitzing and racing. So that should be enough.
Yeah.
Unless he comes up with anything good.
Maybe a double. I don't really like making a 23, but not a lot of choice. And then what's the point in this? Not a lot of point in leaving a shot there, I don't think. So I'm just going to play behind.
Right, so now I have a race lead of 11, and I have him trapped behind a prime. So I think I can double this just on the basis that my threat is just to come home safely.
So this is an easy pass, I think. Just to explain my thought process, that Jooles is 4 away here, so I mean there are some gammon threat, and it's a pass for money because he's got position, race, and threat.
Yeah, it's a very good argument. I think many people get this one wrong, the wrong way. They think I'm behind in the match, so I should be taking more teams to take. Whereas, as you say, what's the overriding factor is you don't want to let me win 2 or even 4 points and stay an even number away. So it's not quite a free pass, but it's a very cheap one.
That's a 4-way is good, 3-way is bad. So I'm going to let Jooles go to 3-way here. I'm still well in the match, 4-1 down.
Right. So
now I need a double very aggressively.
I think that's the first game I haven't won the opening roll. So he's starting to prime me, so I want to split before there's too many attackers there.
That's 5-4, obviously, just down and split.
So 4 is great, then I can make my anchor. So now I'm comfortable with taking anything. So I can leave minimum shots, or I can leave a double shot. So race is about level, so I'll just go for minimum shots.
Can I just give a shout out to my friend Marcus watching in Reading? Hello, Marcus.
Is this Marcus Rinch?
No, Marcus.
No,
I hope Marcus Rinch is watching. So 4-2. I can just make the 20, and then we're going to get into one of those boring holding games again. Kind of lets Julian off the hook because he's got a weaker position. Kind of want to mix it up a bit now. I'm down in the match. I know that he can't really double very friskily at this score, so let's go for the 4 point.
Okay, so 4-2, I can cover or make the 4 point. So this 4 seems to be common to both halves. So this is safe, but leaves me completely stacked. This one, better point, but it's a point behind your potential anchor. So at the moment, you still have the strong point. I guess if I do this, board strength is level. I still don't want to be hit here, so let's just play wimpy and hope for something better.
So playing off the mid here isn't so bad because it's like leaving a blot in front of his stripped anchor. So if he were to hit,
I remember that was in McGreal's book many years ago. This idea of how strong the golden point was and how your opponent might try and tempt you off there.
I don't like stripping the mid. I like to keep my spares on the mid. I make too many mistakes coming out to bars. No ace anyway, so it's just slotting the 3 here.
Yeah.
Stepping up to the 21 would just be putting 2 in the danger zone.
Okay, so 6-2. I can't give up the 8 point and stack everything. At least you've got a blot in board, and the 5 point is the point I want most.
Still early to double, but I hope for a hit. I can. I just have to hit. I hope that's obvious to everyone.
Double 2 is coming in, is good. I can make the 4 point is good, but I don't have a 4th one. So is there an alternative? I can't see one. So there's no other 2. I can't really just give you a 6 for nothing.
So this can't be far off a double now. The position may look 50-50, but it's almost enough for a double at this score. I must get a double in early at this score. I can't get past. I need to activate the cube. Don't want to get past at all. Saying that, there's a lot of work to do. I'm going to take a roll. 2. Would like to make the 3. Is there anything else? Yeah, can't leave a double shot making 3 point.
So double 2 again. I suppose once this guy has gone to the 4 point and it's down to play, we might as well put the finishing touches to killing him. Any reason, any other play that doesn't leave a shot? No, I can't see one. Sent into the graveyard.
So I might be slightly wrong to cube this, but I just don't like to get past at this score. So I'm gonna throw it over. Best case scenarios are I'm making the 3 point, and then Jooles is struggling with his next roll, maybe having to play behind or leaving a shot. Just think my position is much stronger than him now. He's dumped 1 to the 2. I'm slightly up in the race. Yeah, bit of blitzing potential. Let's go for it.
Okay, so I think this is an easy take on account of the fact that I've got the golden point. So what that means is that I've probably minimized my losses to 2 points at most, and I can use 2 points to put me in a very good position. So I have a comfortable take.
So I've got 2 plays here. I can make the 3. That's pretty good, actually. 15 pips up in the race. Or I can make the 2. Wins more gammons. Generally, when someone's got an anchor that you don't want to blitz because you've got more chance of coming in, obviously. Less chance of getting blitzed. Does give him some bad rolls, but just make the 3. I'm going to do it now. Increase my gammon count. I'm behind in the match. Maybe some bad entry numbers.
Like this one.
Yeah.
So 5 is clear, and what do I do with the 2? So I can't play 4 to 2. It's a religious holiday, and that would be against my religion for sure. So I could give up the 8 point, but that's giving up the point. So at least if I leave you 4s, then it's kind of duplicated with some of your hit and cover numbers.
4.
So is it fortuitous?
It's rather fortuitous. So if I don't hit, I guess it's this. I just have to hit. If in doubt, hit, they say. It's going to increase my wins for sure and increase my gammon. So no obvious 2. I'm not going to play 3 to 1. Just going to come out again.
So 5, 6 comes in and doesn't hit, and I've got too many checkers on 20 points, so I've got to get one off there and into the outfield. So at the moment, I think both of us are rolling average. So you hit, and then I managed to come in, which I'm pleased about, but I never hit you, which I'm not pleased about.
Yeah, this is the kind of position I was worried of getting into a couple of rolls later and giving Julian an easy pass. So I'm obviously stuck at the back, so the hit's obvious.
So here's the hit I've been waiting for. I talked the dice into giving you that.
In with a 1, and then make another blocking point. I know it loses the mid, but it's not great.
4, 3 I can hit. So that would be good. Any other play? No. And I want to separate your back checkers because you're threatening to roll 6 and just get the back checkers out together. So a bit of safe play here.
I'd have played to the 8, but so in and hit.
So 3-1. So now I have some kind of a back game. So now I definitely want to activate this guy on the 2 points who's wandered offside.
With a 5. I can afford to play pretty loose here. Gina's got a strict board. I can't really see a better 2 than just tidying up a block.
Yeah, so 2-1. So I think I just cover the 1 point. There's a general rule when you go to the 1 point, you might as well cover it. So I mean, it's tempting to say I'm playing a back game, so I want to play 8 to 5, but if I don't make the 1 point now, I'm going to be hit there in 20 or 30 moves time.
Yeah, nothing to gain by staying back, so just out the 6 and 11 to 8.
Yeah, so what I want to do is roll a 4 or 5 to get one guy out from the 20 point. So I still want the 5 points, so I'm going for that one.
Load up the 11.
So there's the 4 I've been dreaming of, so I've got to get him out.
I'm definitely hitting here. Normally in back games, you would tend to let your opponent out by not hitting.
Yeah, the guy on
I've just seen another play. I'm going to make the 9. Then at least I've got another blocking point for the.
Yeah, I think that the hit was clear, but I think most of my timing is coming from that guy on the midpoint. So I think you just should have just sent him back. So 3 is clear, and now I can slot the 4 point. That duplicates my 5. So I guess I just play naturally and hope for something good next time.
Yeah, quite happy with my 5-2 play now.
Yes, it's
Hopefully,
worked out well for sure.
Julian to crunch his board. Am I letting him out with 6s? Not yet. Don't like this. Bit ugly, but
yeah, I think just one roll for me to crunch my board is worth doing. So I guess I can make the 5 point. That's what I've been trying to do for the last 10 rolls or something. Let the future worry about itself.
Now I need to load up some spares. So my game plan here is just let Julian off 20 and then hopefully make some good hitting numbers.
Okay, so we're not out. So now I just want to fill in the gap on the 3 points. So I've got to kill someone, but I've got 1 out to play, but I can at least make the 3 points and have a 5 point board.
Not really sure. It just seems natural to come from the back.
So 3-2, so it's not going well. So 3 is clear. So do I want to break 22? Horrible to break the board. If I come off here, then I'm giving you 1, 4, 5, 6. But I do have a 5 point board still. And if I break the board, what happens then? I am doing some damage to your position. Yeah, there's no blocks in your board, so I'm going to play Wimpy still for a while.
Anything that plays, really. Just play from the rear.
Yeah, so that's a good roll. So now you can play safely and have lots of spares. So now I have to come out whatever the danger. At least the idea of this is I'm keeping the back anchor. So if I get pointed on, I've still got a modicum of defense. So in is excellent. And try and make the 5 point again. So 6-0 is good. 6-1. So it'd be great to get out, but I'm just about to get my shot now, if ever. So I think I need my 5 point board.
Generally, in these positions, you just never pay. So I've got a move that doesn't need a shot. So
yes, one of the people, Andy Darby, told me that he has a rule that you never want to give shots against a 5 point board. So minimum shots whenever you can when I have a 5 point board. Right, so now I've got 5s. 5 is different. So now I just want to avoid you hitting the back guy. And I've got to pay 5, 6. So now, if I double, you can pass to 6-1 is 11%. And if you take to 4, you will be cubed to 8 and play for the match. So you need 11% to take, and I think you're well in that range now. You're well over that, rather. So I definitely have to play on. So 6 to entering numbers, so I can give 6-5, 6-4. Can't get hit with 6-6. So the checker on 11 is in the right place, so I need to do some kind of shuffling play here. So is there any reason why one of these is like playing back? One seems to give me double 5 to make 6 points, so that's one reason why it can't be too bad. So 6-3. So the race is pretty average at the moment, so the race is not too bad. So I don't have to count on making the 6 points. I can work just by trying to make the 6 points. And now when you enter with a 6, I should get some pick and passes, and I'm only paying 6-4. It's okay for you, I guess. So now it's very good for me, but are you still above 11? I'm sure you must be above 11. So 3-3 is very good. Now I'm getting in range. So I think this is clear. I need no shots, and I can probably double if you don't enter. So now the race is pretty much sewn up, and I get a bonus because you're on the bar, which is probably about 10 pips. So effectively I'm 26 pips up. So the problem is whether you're 11% or not.
Hmm. Hate these kind of decisions. I'll take your word for it that it's a 20 pip deficit. My normal.
No, I mean, Seb told me his rule that being on the bar against a 5-point board is generally the equivalent of being an extra 10 pips down in the race.
Okay. So if I was using Trice to find my last point of take here, 54 minus 5 divided by 7, 49 divided by 7 is 7, so normally 61. And then every pip, like 0.5%. Could be close. I know that I can take really deep at this score. So if I let this go, I'm 6-1 down Crawford. The best case scenario, I need to win 3 more games. Maybe 4. Feels pretty hopeless. Gonna let it go.
Okay, so now we've got the Crawford game. So the crucial thing for me is to see whether he's even or odd away. And he's even away, so he wants to win a gammon. Gammon's not like it does anything great for him, but I definitely want to try and save a gammon if I can. So I still want to hit him off the 4 point. It's a point I want, and I don't want him to have it.
And I'm trying to win a gammon. I'm not.
Yeah, you make another point, so that's definitely got to be right. So I want to make the 4 point I've slotted and then find the least inconvenient 6. So lots of good options here.
Play wins the most gammons. I can make. I like these kind of plays where you got 3 or 4 different options. So this kind of process for elimination. This is quite tidy. The double hit probably wins the most gammons, but is pretty sloppy. Oh, I could just make the bomb.
Yeah, the other play is to point on the 2.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, I showed that one.
Oh, right. Sorry, I missed that one.
I think I did. Yeah, so there are 4 different plays. Quite like this for DMP.
Yeah, this is a good play because it does 2 things. So it makes the anchor, which keeps you in the game for a very long time,
Yeah.
and hits to stop me making the 18 point. And usually it's a bit risky doing this when I have 6s to return hit, but now the 5 to return hit is duplicated with my entering numbers. So a lot
I'm going
of
to go for the bar. I like to make the bar.
yeah. So you still left me bad 6s, pesky player. So there's no good 6. So I still have the stronger board, so I can't dump anything here, and I want to unstack the mid.
Hit and out.
So 5, 6 is a hit. There.
So I make the 5 point in a flash, and then look for the other one, and I just have to try and split. Most productive way to play the last ace.
Yeah. So now you have a solid 4 prime. I think I want to send another guy back, and then some kind of an attempt to make an advanced anchor or escape.
6-3, so we've got 2 different 6s. This kind of leaves 2 men in the danger zone, makes it quite easy for Julian to blitz. So I'm just going to come out.
2 is good, so now I can anchor. Not the best anchor, but at least I've got a direct exit from there. So 6s will get me out.
And make the 22, obviously.
So 6, 5 is horrible. It would be a lot nicer if we hadn't made the 22. So this is 5. Now I have to say, can I come out? I do have 3 checkers back, which tempts me into this, and I have a race lead. If I go the other way, maybe you're just going to send lots of checkers back behind your prime. So I don't want to get gammoned, but a lot of your outfield hits force you to give up the midpoint.
Yeah, that or 13-11. So that's quite a nice place to be. It only leaves a single shot.
So 6-3, the 6 is very good. 6-3 is 2 options. So I can just play safe. Why shouldn't I play safe when I have a race lead and I don't want to be behind your prime? So maybe I can just limp home from here. So you're not threatening you, the savage dog, if I win this match, are you?
Sorry, I think I might have had a cat in the garden there.
Yes, and I heard the dog.
Tidy up one, make the 4, and then 8-5 or 6-3. what the point I want to make.
Okay, so now you've caught up a lot in race, but my main plan is just to play a racing game, and that way there won't be any gammons involved. 3-1 makes 5 points. Very good roll. 2 still can't clear the back point. And now perhaps I should look at what I'm hoping for. So I want to roll 3-5, 3-6 to clear the back point, I guess, but I haven't got that. So instead, I've got something that leaves a shot, which is not nice. Could it possibly be right to give up the 6? I can't play this, because then 4, it's 2 blocks. Maybe I just can't afford to be hit here. Can I do this? Yeah, I think it's got to be done.
Ooh. Okay. So that leaves me 7 pips up, so I can afford to run here.
Okay, so I need to play safe still. Can't be anything too bad about strengthening my board. So this looks pretty close to gin. I can come down from the mid, which is the obvious clearing play, but then I stack the 8, and I definitely want the 6 for the bear off. So I've got to roll 6-1 3 times or something to leave a shot here. So double 2 is great. So 4 crossovers must be a good plan. So can I actually come in here? Normally with this odd one, I like to make some play that evens the distribution, but I've got a gap on the 3 points, so the missing 3s will come off the 6.
Oh, come on, the big guns.
Well, I have to say I have comprehensively outrolled you in this match. The computer will determine who played better, but as I say, I think the score reflects the skill in my rolling rather than the playing.
Yeah, I felt like I was ahead in a couple of games. Not over yet. Maybe it is. Shut up. Okay, 5, 5, 6. If you roll a 1, no, not to be. Thanks, Julian.
Thank you. As I say, I'm sure I outrolled you in that one. So, okay, you happy to call it a day for today then?
Yeah.
Well done, both.
Yeah, thank you very much both. It's been I hope it's been a really informative, helpful evening for everyone, and it's been enjoyable to watch.
Good.
Good. Sorry it dragged on a bit.
No, it's quite all right. Thank you very much for both agreeing to play, and hope be able to do a future one, if that's all right.
Yeah, certainly for me. If you can find someone else, I'm certainly happy to play with anyone. I'm happy to play with Gaz again if there's no alternative.
Oh, I demand a rematch. Can I just do a quick shout out, Julia?
You can, yes.
Yeah, if anyone is stuck for somewhere to play or doesn't really know online backgammon, then there's a few good servers out nowadays. In no particular order, Gammon Space is just started up. It's a money server. They've got lots of added money tournaments, all different stakes. Something to fill your day. And then Heroes at backgammonstudio.com is is quite a studious place to play. You can save all your matches and your blunders. It's got training modes. All the WBIF, the World Backgammon Internet Federation matches are played there now. And also, obviously, Backgammon Galaxy, I'm sure everyone's heard of. That's where most people are playing now. That's quite easy access. Everyone can log on there. And then there's a few Facebook groups to follow.
Right, so I'm going to interrupt for a second. I'm going to disappear. So thank you very much for the match, and thank you, Julia, for hosting. And as I say, hopefully we can do it again soon.
Okay,
yeah.
Jules.
Thank you very much. See you again soon.
Pleasure. Yeah. Take care, both of you.
Bye. Yeah, Backgammon Galaxy. Follow that on Facebook, and there's also a page called Backgammon Land. You can play organized friendly tournaments there, and then there's Arda's doing some satellites at the moment on Merit Backgammon Merit International Backgammon page. He's doing satellites for his live events, so there's plenty to be getting on with, and hopefully I'll be playing a few of you in the UK Online Championship coming up soon.
So the UK Online Championships just kicked off. I believe the first lot of draws are out. Yeah, I'll be playing in that as well, and I hope to see quite a lot of you there.
And winding up the charity event as well.
Yes, yeah. So you're playing Jerry tomorrow, and then
Jerry, getting some rounds now.
Yep, so we're down to the final 10 in the charity tournament. Martin Hamer is leading that with 4 lives left out of 5 after an 11 rounds, so doing phenomenally well.
I'm just pinging this through XG. My laptop's quite fast now. I've got a new one. Doesn't look like we played particularly well. I've got a bit of the backgammon shanks at the moment, probably playing too much because I'm stuck indoors. Yeah, 6.3 for me and 4.6 for Julian. So looks like I've lost a bet on that, but never mind. What
was the luck factor?
3.5 to Julian.
Okay, so it's an uphill struggle to get a win out of that at any time.
Yeah, it looks like Julian made some really good plays with the checkers. He only made 3 errors. I made 16, 5 of which were blunders. Okay.
Right.
Right. Thanks for hosting, Julia.
Yeah, thank you very much for being our expert, and we'd love to have you on again some future time.
Look forward to it. Okay. Cheers.
All right. Good night, all. Right.